Hi, welcome back to Actual Play. It's been a little while. We are here today to play a game in playtest development called Tides of Gold, which will be its first time featuring on Actual Play. I'm Sean. I use he, him pronouns. I'm real excited about being a pirate and sticking it to the man. That sounds great. If anyone wants,
That sounds real gay.
yeah, I'm down with gay crime. Yes, please.
Yeah.
Absolutely. How about you, Strush?
Hey, I'm Strash. He, him. I'm also. I'm going to try really, really hard not to have a whole bunch of terrible pirate jokes and busting out me terrible accents. But aside from that, I am also super excited to be a pirate. Although I have a spoopy pirate, which has surprised absolutely nobody.
Right. Yeah.
So also, I apologize in advance for my cats who believe that I'm talking to them. Ash, how are you doing while I deal with this little one?
Hi. I'm good. I'm Ash, she, her pronouns. And yeah, I'm super hype. Pirate Times was like one of my like teenage indulgences of like, oh yeah, I'm going to dress up like a pirate to go to like high school. That's a normal thing that people do. So yeah, no, I'm absolutely
Was dressed like a pirate day every day for you, Ash?
until it was just like a steampunk day every day. So yeah. Cass, how you going? Hello.
Good. I'm excited. You can absolutely make pirate comments in chat, please. So I'm Cass, my pronouns are she, her, and I'm really excited to play Tides of Gold and get some awesome pirate action going on. For the game, it's a little bit of a mix of Forged in the Dark and Apocalypse World, so we'll get into that. And for the world, basically, it was very much sort of an Iron Age, simple sailing and sword fighting kind of world until they were invaded by the Sea Raiders, who introduced Renaissance technology to the world and almost wiped everyone out, but the entire world formed this alliance and beat back the Sea Raiders. And that was about 50 years ago. So they've started to get really focused on making money and technology, and all of those war alliances are starting to fray a little bit as people want to make their money. And so our crew is going to be taking their piece of what's going on the Golden Tides.
Very cool.
What?
Awesome.
We already picked. We can play pirate hunters, privateers, or pirates, and we already decided our crew type was going to be pirates. So that's good stuff. Is there a sheet with our pirate crew that I can show folks, or I can show them the base one? Let's switch over. Aha, there we go. Where we can see this isn't filled out, but you can see the pirates crew sheet.
But we have got our details of pirates.
We have got our details. The sheet that I have pulled up does not. It just has.
Do we want to like go through and like talk about our pirate crew?
Yeah, sure.
We can start with the crew first, I think.
Probably smart.
So we did choose pirates because
I mean, if you're playing a pirate game, why not?
If there's an option, check pirite. Come on.
We were not going to be sea cops, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, that was the one thing, like no sea cops.
Yeah. No, wait. And then we chose our something in our flag.
We chose our reputation, which is ambitious. We go after the big game. And our flag, yeah. Ash, you want to describe our flag because it was your concept?
So I have been doing a lot of like stuff with the about like the Eureka Stockade recently. So I was like Eureka Stockade flag, but like red, black, and white. So red cross on a black background with white stars is the flag of our independent pirate nation that we will establish for ourselves again in rebellion against the Kyrian oppressors. So I'm excited to take pirates to the. I realized this the other day. I do a lot of games about like resisting oppressive regimes. Like this is a thing.
There are worse things to have games about.
Yeah. All right. I was trying to pull up the flag, but Google is just being like very slow on this machine that's streaming. So
I'm a draw a flag on the map or something. Just
nice.
Excellent.
But yes, Ash, I'm all about games about resisting oppressive regimes. Yeah, let's keep doing it.
yeah. But no.
We have a special ability. Our special ability is Ghost Ship. Our ship has an aura of dark fog. We get +2 to lose pursuers, and for the first round of a surprise attack. So pretty cool.
More importantly, we have a ghost ship.
We have a ghost ship.
That's the most important part. Is that we can say ghost ship.
Right.
Cool.
I think that's as far as we got. Oh no, we didn't.
Yeah,
we picked our contacts as well.
Yes, we did.
Our associates, rather.
Mhm.
I'm completely distracted by drawing a flag.
No worries.
You focus on that's cool.
Yeah, we selected Adam as our shipwright, as our close friend and contact. And I was throwing this out there. I don't know how you all still feel about it, but I like the idea that Adam's ship designs or the ship that they made was stolen, and they've got a chip on their shoulder against the person who either made off with their design. I mean, a shipwright doesn't design ships, but maybe some do. I like the idea that Adam had some cool, awesome ship design, and someone yanked it from them, and we going after
Probably
them.
the Kyrian. Sounds like something they do.
Sure.
They're
General.
like, cool, this is a warship now.
Yeah, exactly.
And then a couple things we didn't go over so we're playing the pre-made pirate ship, so some of the decisions are already made. So a couple things for you all to know. You have a harpoon launcher, so if you need to trap a large monster or a ship, you can launch your harpoon to get them. You have deceptive rigging, so you can make your ship look like a different type of ship, like, oh, we're just a normal little merchant ship, and then you can, be a pirate ghost ship and ambush them.
Surprise pirate.
Yes.
Surprise.
God. Sean.
You have a vault, which just means, so normally in the game you're going to be storing a lot of coin because you need it to do everything, and normally that would make other people raid you because they want to steal your shiny coin. But with a vault you can store up to 10 coin without attracting extra attention. And then you have quality weapons, so when you attack with your weapons you get a +1 modifier.
Nice.
And
we are, I'm sorry, I got distracted by Twitter. Are we, someone's DMing me. Are we, did we get all of those, or do we pick one of those?
you get all of those. Those are all your starting pirate upgrades.
Bonus.
Is that weapon like a gear weapon for us, or is that like a weapon like a cannon for the ship?
That's going to be weapons for your individual characters.
Rad.
Yeah. And then a couple other things with the pre-made is, so you do have starting relationships with some of the factions.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a positive relationship with 2 criminal factions, and we can learn about them a little bit in play. But you also have a negative relationship with a couple factions. One of the more interesting ones being a group of assassins called the Time-Worn Blades. Don't like you very much. So we'll kind of figure out as we play what you did to make a bunch of assassins mad at some point.
Nice.
That might be my fault. I'm just saying.
It's all your fault, Josh. Is there a sheet I can pull up to be sort of showing? Oh, it's right there. It's right behind the sheet I had up. The
Yes.
creation.
So the pirate cruise ship, if you scroll down from the picture, is where all the text is, and that is all the
There we go.
And at the bottom is like a short summary if the text is kind of a lot.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody can actually read this on stream, but it's there.
It's there. Yeah. All right. So one thing we haven't really gotten into too much detail is your characters. So I think that'd be the first thing. Going over character creation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll pop up the character creation thing. We've already started it, but why don't one of you go first as I'm kind of highlighting it on the.
I can tackle it. How do you want to do you want me just to like read off my stuff? Do you want me to tell you a little story? Do we want to step through character creation? How do you want to do this?
I think it looks like people have kind of got the first like narrative idea of their character in general. If you want to introduce a little bit of your story and your character.
I may have filled everything out. I'm sorry. I don't need to like try and be an overachiever, but I can stall while everybody else catches up if that's okay.
No, that's great.
That works.
I haven't, so you go.
So I'm sorry, Cass. Would you please tell me what you want from me, and I'll tackle it.
I would love you to just introduce your character and highlight some of what what their background is, what they care about, and what cool things they can do.
Cool. So I'm going to be playing Arash. Arash is there's like giant sea nations, and in particular, he's of this group of people called the Dayuka. So like as a scamp, one of the things that you can do is you can literally stick to walls like Spider-Man. And in particular, I am extra special because I can not only stick to walls, I can also stick to any surface of water in the same fashion, which means that I can literally walk on water.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so my background is that I'm a monster hunter, and I'm gonna explain this a little bit to folks. I'm actually the Dayuka are like a nomadic people. They have this like god pairing that's their like primary deity combo, and in particular one of their gods is the star, is a god that has died and been reborn, and I think literally I'm initiated into some sort of cult that performs something like that, which is where I get my funky powers from. So I'm kind of an assassin that joined this pirate crew. I may be on the run from people. I know a lot about medicines, like minor alchemicals like smoke bombs and jazz. And I'm let me think about it. Oh yes, my weird religion is my anchor. So like in this game, if you've played Blades, you're familiar with vices, and vices are a thing that you use to sort of like de-stress. One of the things that kind of keeps you steady on the seas is your anchor, and your anchor can be any number of things. For me, my anchor is this strange religion that I have from my people. So belief is my anchor, and I am pretty decent at skirmish and prowl, and I'm going to be a hunt and study kind of character. So all good things for that. I think that part of the reason why we have a ghost boat is that I'm kind of tied to that in some fashion. This whole like death rebirth thing is totally my jam, and I think I actually like I'm probably closely interrelated with some of that. So that's it for me. If anybody has any cues, hit me up.
Nice. Let me see if there's anything. I think you covered everything I would ask you about. Maybe can you just, for people who don't have the sheet, talk about who some of your friends and rivals are, just so they know who to keep a lookout for?
Cool. Yeah. So I know people like a storyteller, an artificer, an academic, a street thief, and a bodyguard. And in particular, I think that Aili, the street thief, is probably somebody that got into a jam after I bailed out of the last port that I was in before joining the crew. So they're my down arrow, and my uptick arrow is Zabi the artificer, who gives me a whole bunch of my weird, wonky, quasi-mechanical things, and helps me with my I don't know, strange ideas. So I have to tell everyone I'm very much in the like Pirates of Darkwater, like old Ray Harryhausen movie pirates things. So like I decided that the weapon that I usually use is an unusual weapon, which means that it's like some wild chain plus grappling hook meteor hammer style thing, and it's probably a thing that this artificer helps me maintain. So yeah, it's just a little flavor, full flavor. So
Awesome. And then can you just remind me of what your character's name is one more time?
Arash. That was on the name list. I was like, that sounds good. That was like the third one down.
All right.
Is there a name list? Where's the name list? I haven't seen the name list.
I have it open. 1 second.
I just now figured out how to pull up the playbooks that I only had on PDF, and I was like, oh, I can present
Ash,
a PDF in the
it
browser.
is on page 116 of the main text.
Thank you.
Specifically for us. That's why it's the Mirati Dayuka name list.
Thank you. Sick.
Also, there are bookmarks, so you can.
Yeah, it's really useful.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I was going to mention that because it said like you can go to the Three Kingdoms chapter to find more information on your culture, and I was like, boop boop.
Yeah. Someone introduced me to bookmarks, I think 2 months ago, and now I'm like, every PDF must have them.
If a PDF doesn't have them, I get really like frustrated, or if it has them badly.
Yeah.
The Torchbearer PDF that I have is so poorly bookmarked.
Ash or Sean, are either of you ready to kind of give the overview?
I don't have a name yet, but I can tell you pretty much everything else about my character.
Sweet.
So I'm playing a captain. I'm also Dayuka. And yeah, I am a cross between like Jack Sparrow, Ned Kelly, and Bonnie. I am big and flashy and dramatic and theatrical, and I'm my anchor is my belief in the this republic that we are building. I'm like, no, we're going to make a better world, like a new nation thing. So like I believe in our republic. And I have my background is as a mercenary. So I've got, which I'm still doing my dots, but like straight off the bat, I've got 2 in command and 1 in rec as a mercenary background captain. So I intend to yell a lot and break things. That's because like when we were discussing like our crew's reputation, everyone else is like, maybe we could be honorable, and I'm like, oh, that sounds a bit hard. I don't know if
honorable is a bit too much.
It's a bit of a push for my character concept, and just if we're honorable, there's gonna be some mistakes. I mean, there's gonna be some mistakes anyway, but yeah. I get swashbuckling, which means that I can like push myself to either like perform a dueling move that defies physics, swoop in and push and pull another character from harm and land anywhere you want within sight, or just take 2 shipboard actions in a single round. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I also in items, one of the things that the officer gets is a staff with a wicked hook. And there's also the thing of like an unusual weapon or a polearm. And so I'm looking at like Mongolian glaives as like
nice,
like a hooked blade on a stick.
I'm into this.
Yeah, that's where I'm looking. It's a glaive of some kind.
I mean, but you do need to be more specific. You know, just any old glaive is not.
This whole thing with fucking D&D nerds and their polearms.
I once did have a picture that said "Fake Geek Boy can only name 21 polearms."
Yes.
Yeah. No. I'll draw a picture of it.
No,
I couldn't tell you a name for it.
Character art and cool ideas are plus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
But yeah, hooked glavey blade thing, because fuck yeah.
Yeah. I will not even lie. When I wrote down pole arm as an item, I'm like, this would be so I could have a glaive as a character.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Um,
My traditional D&D character would always be polearm fighter.
Nice.
Yeah.
Who are some of your friends and rivals?
Yeah. So friends and rivals, the options. I'm going to go backwards. So there's Rito, who is a shipping magnate. So I know Rito. Magda, a creature of the deep, is my rival. So oops. Falk, a Leviathan hunter, and Benno, a forgotten war hero, I know, and then Gisa, a weather witch, is my friend. So I go to her for like advice about like how to make decisions as a captain. And then she's like, a storm's coming, and I'm like, that's not helpful, Gisa. God damn it. And I still haven't got a name because I'm still looking through the list. I'll have a name shortly.
Sean, are you ready to introduce your character?
I think so. I've been trying to juggle streamy bits, so I've been sort of distracted, but I think I've got it. This my character's name is Pari the Undying. She has been stabbed, burned, drowned, and can't seem to learn how to die. That's one of the few things she has not figured out how to do. She is an old timer. Originally, I think I was gonna make her like 60, but tell me what your feelings about very long living people are in this setting, because now hearing some of Ash and Strash's features, I feel like there's maybe a little bit more supernatural than I was sort of anticipating.
That's actually a good question for us to talk about. So there's definitely mystical, weird powers coming from the Reeflands. But one thing we do have to talk about as players is the world can have out and out mystical characters like mermaids and centaurs and things like that. Or those can just be kind of rumors, and it's more this sort of amorphous mystical power that people have their cults and beliefs about, but nothing's really confirmed.
I mean, Arash can walk on water, right? Like that is a thing that can happen. Yeah. So in the timeline of the setting, if this is okay, I'll just throw this out there. This is fine as people. Mm-hmm. In the timeline of the setting, about 50 years ago, the Reefland, is that right? Is it about 50 years ago?
Yep.
The Reefland Raiders came in and they had all this crazy technology, they had like cannons and motors and things like that, and we were utterly unprepared for them, and they just obliterated
us.
Yeah, they smoked us. And Pari, a Maharati, which was it seems to me like the largest group of people and the sort of old empire that fell at this time, or that fell shortly after this. She was part of a village that was just utterly destroyed except for her, and she was 60 at the time, and that was 50 years ago, and she still appears to be about 60 now. And I took the impervious trait, the impervious special ability, which is when you take physical harm without resisting, choose their weapon breaks against you, the enemy runs in fear, or take +2 on the counterattack. So I mean, technically speaking, she mechanically could die, but I like the idea that lots of people have tried and it hasn't worked. And her anchor is a regret that they weren't able to stop the Reefland Raiders. They were like a village right on the front, and had they held the defenses, she believes that if they had just held out one day longer, reinforcements would have come, the Raiders could have been stopped at the front, and instead they broke through like nothing. And she should have known better. She should have been ready. And in this thing, some dark magic happened that prevented her from dying. After that day, she hasn't aged. She hasn't and she can be injured, but does not appear to be able to die. So yeah, and the thing is, since the Reefland Raiders have happened, like they're not the people in power, other people are in power. And so she's watched like the cycle of the transition of power and realized that unless somebody does something about it, like powerful people are always going to oppress those beneath them. And so she's all about trying to make up for that that regret from many years ago, that failure from many years ago.
I like it. Question, does she know why she's undying, or is that a mystery to her as well?
No. I think
Nice.
she woke up after the battle math and found herself very Unbreakable style, just like looking around and being like, everybody's dead except for me.
Mm.
And that's how it's been ever since.
I like it. And then if you just want to introduce, I guess.
Oh, I have to yes. My friends. Oh, I have one of the playbook abilities is that she has a scar. She has a scarred soul, which means that let me pull up the thing. Which means that her chest burns when she's in danger, and whenever she's threatened, she acts first. And my friends and rivals, where are they? I just had you a second ago. Oh, there they are. Okay. Severino, the military officer, is a rival. Severino is hunting Pari. Severino, she is spit in the face of the current leaders, and this is why she has the Kyrion. Is that the name of the
Is it Kyrian?
The Kyrian, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I think he is a Kyrian officer that she has and underestimated her because of her age, and will not underestimate her again, however, after the last getting locked up and breaking out. And so she's a fugitive running from him. And then her friend is Marie, the fortune teller. And Marie is the one that keeps her on a path of like, if you just do this one more thing, you'll make up for your past failure. And she believes that she can't die until she makes up for her failure, that she's cursed with life until she avenges till she makes up for it. So Marie is the one who keeps telling her like, okay, you got to do another thing. Okay, you got to do another thing. And she trusts Marie completely. Marie has never steered her wrong. Marie is clairvoyant, and she's 100% confident that Marie is always there for her and is always guiding her on the path that she's otherwise just lost on. So yeah, those are my peeps.
I like it. So much drama, just
yeah, and like Marie might totally be selling her like Marie might totally be lying to her, but Pari believes very strongly in her. Nice. And you know, I mean, she's a positive contact, so she certainly does help her, even if her story is not 100% true.
I have a name. I'm Vida of the Liberty.
Nice.
And because we're doing a short play, we're picking a second special ability, aren't we? So I've got to.
We are.
You all already actually.
I'm in.
Did. So normally you only start with the default one, but you all got excited and picked another one. So I'm like,
dang. I didn't. Not? I read the instructions.
Well, I may have made assumptions due to scumability. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yes, but I thank you, because that reading that ability completely defined my character concept. I was like, impervious? What now? I had this idea of this old sort of wise woman that was like, you know, not getting into fights. I'm like, no, Pari like stabs fools. She's forget that.
If I got a third power, I'd have taken the like instantly vanished power.
Well, let's get some XP, man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I'm taking my second one as Golden Tongue. When you sway, you can spend a coin instead of rolling, and the result will be as if you rolled a 10+.
Oh, nice.
Excellent. So before we jump into the action, that kind of touches on one of the differences in the game from if you're used to typical Forged in the Dark is the rolls are a lot more like Powered by the Apocalypse. So your default is you roll 2d6 and your action dots are the modifier. So if you have like a 1 action dot, then it would be 2d6 plus 1. And so when you roll a 6 or less is you fail and there are consequences and complications. A 7 to 9 is a costly success, so you get what you want, but there will be complications. And then a 10 plus is you heroically succeed and get what you want. You can resist like you would in a Forged in the Dark game, rolling your attributes and taking stress. However, it's a dangerous world, so you can only reduce the consequences. You can never make them go away completely. And how that works as players is you can say, I want to resist that, and maybe the consequence would be this instead. So you can kind of propose how you might minimize the consequence with your response.
Cool. Cool.
Dig it.
There are some macros for those of you in the roll 20. Because I don't have a roll 20 sheet, you can just do an action roll, and then if you're rolling with advantage or disadvantage, and then it'll ask you for modifiers and all that. So you don't have to type it every single time.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. I don't see them in the roll 20. Okay, go to the macros tab. I'm not seeing them. Is there a macro that's like floating around somewhere on the sheet that I'm not seeing, or?
So I have it show macro quick bar. I think so. I see it under my name. Do you not see it under your name?
Yeah,
You have to make the macros available to us, I think.
How do I do that?
You have to edit the macro, and I think there's a checkbox for.
Let me. Quick.
I've just created one just now.
Oh, there it is. It was under I had to scroll. And you see them now?
Yep.
I do.
Yep.
Excellent.
Action, advantage, and disadvantage. Cool. I don't know if there's being caught on stream. Usually I try to hide the names, so
Yeah.
they're too tough, but that's okay. Stream, we're clicking buttons.
And Strauss just lost their good roll of the game.
Josh just said what? Sorry.
Got their one good roll of the game.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that'll be it. It's fine. We get
games
XP.
with dice for a reason.
We get XP when we get 6 minuses.
Yeah.
That's the thing I pay attention to. How do I get XP? Oh, okay, cool, awesome.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess maybe the last thing for the characters, if you all don't mind actually reading your end of session XP trigger, since that's specific to the playbooks.
Good call.
I'll go first.
Okay.
If that's okay.
That's fine.
Enact. I have no idea how this is gonna work out, but sorry, I'm trying to talk around Kat. I have put her aside several times. She just really wants to be the center of attention right now. All right, I'm gonna talk to you all like this. Maybe not.
Yeah.
My mic is over here. Enact justice against an authority figure. Attempt to address a challenge with trickery or athletic feats, and express heritage background or complicated events with chains, where chains are basically traumas for anybody that's played Blades.
Cool.
That's it for me.
All right. We'll do old timer next because it's visible on the sheet right now, and then we'll go up to Captain. I get one if I obtain something from my home that is mine and only mine. If I attempt to address the challenge with nonviolence or knowledge, and if I express my heritage background or complicated events with chains. Sounds good.
And then mine are failing rolls, put yourself at risk to protect the crew or ship. And then address a challenge with recklessness or bravado, or heritage background, complicated events with chains.
Neat.
Cool.
So, part of the pre-made ship and all of that is there's a starting situation. Do we want to jump into that? Take a short break? How are people feeling?
Yeah, I think we're right about at. That's not true. We start at 6:30.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we jump in and like maybe before our first roll, or right as once we kind of have the scene painted, we could take a break then. Does that sound
Sounds good.
Cliffhangery?
Let me pull up. So, really quickly, because it's about to be irrelevant, some of your allies are the Black Reef. They are smugglers who specialize in Sea Raider technology. They're wealth level 4, and they're rumored to have leviathans guarding their home, so they're kind of a big deal. And another of your allies that you have a +2 is they're called the Curse, and they're wealth 3. They are a network of robbers who exploit rumors of curses and mystical powers to hide their own criminal acts. So,
Sick.
I like these people.
yeah, your starting situation, which actually I think.
What was the
really-
name of the first faction, real quick? I'm just taking notes.
Yeah, I think the first one I read was the Black Reef.
Cool.
And the second is the Curse, and they're listed on the Pirate Crew handout in the Roll20 if you need to look them up again. So,
Also, we have a flag now on the Roll20.
ooh,
the map.
that's a really pretty flag. I'm impressed.
Nice. I gotta move it down so that it'll fit in Roll20.
Uh-huh.
Give me permissions on it, or just move it yourself down
I'll
to
move it
like
myself.
underneath where, I don't know, somewhere more center.
How about under Valia? How's that?
Valia should be good. That should be visible. Yep.
Cool.
Peeps can see it.
Like it.
We just need to move that around wherever we are. We have a big square ship. We just
So,
reemphasize.
the Black Reef, which they're one of the biggest deals when it comes to sort of underworld crews. They kind of control a lot of the action on the southern continent. They want to offer you access to their pirate haven so that you can, have a launching off place for what you're doing. But you need to prove that you're worthy and that they can trust you to be basically decent pirates. Maybe you've had a little action up against the Kyrian, but you really haven't been down on the southern continent much. So they've heard things about you, but they're not convinced yet that you should be allowed, basically, in some ways, to start joining their pirate republic.
When they say decent pirates, what do they mean? Like, do they mean skilled and capable, or do they mean decent human beings, or some other definition of decent?
They mean they want you to steal something and bring it back to them.
They mean skilled, not nice.
Yes.
I'm just right.
Yeah.
What are we stealing?
So there is a shipment of precious gems that is going to be moved by the Royal Society of Architects, who are a major institution on the southern continent. The southern continent does a lot with buildings. There's also rumors the architects might be spies, and that might be some of why they have precious gems that they're kind of sailing around on the southern seas. And so if we look at the map, it's going to be traveling from Sadaka to Idakun. And so from that port down to Idakun. And so they sort of leave it up to you. You can decide to attack them at Sadaka before they leave. You can try and swoop in while they're on their route and sort of fight them on the open seas. Or, you can hit them when they're starting to relax as they start to reach their destination port. So,
I think the main thing is I would probably open with like gathering intelligence, right? Like, what is the security like at those? Like, what is the level of security like at those two ports and things like that, versus trying to pull off an open sea, an attack at sea. And I would probably be like.
Where are we originating from? Are we in the Reeflands right now?
Yeah, let me put a little. So
just give me a sense of like where we're starting.
Yeah, you've met them sort of here on that section.
Okay. So we're closer to Arukan. Not that we could intercept them anywhere, but that's.
And one thing I will pop is the ports.
We have.
Cass, you were just a handout wizard. You were so good at just
just want to remind everyone that we do have ghost ships, so we can totally get an ambush off without too much trouble.
Yeah, that was what I was wondering.
Ghost ship inclines me strongly towards leaning into that. Makes me think.
There's this section here where they are passing very close to like zone 3 or 4 waters, and there's this convenient
Little reef.
little peninsula that we could like drive them up against if we needed to,
Or hide behind.
or hide behind.
I'm
thinking we come from this angle, right? And then
you just mentioned level 3 or 4 waters. Where are you? I can see the different color coding, but where are you seeing? Oh, I see. Zone. It's in the map. Zone 3 or 4. What do those zones indicate? Cass?
Yeah. So the closer you are to the reef, the more dangerous and mystical, monstery war stuff is generally happening.
Mm-hmm.
So zone 4 is, if you're going to be traveling through it, you risk running up against more dangerous things. And then zone 1 is the safest waters. I will say, just mechanically, real quick, so there's 4 different phases, and in this game, you get to pick whatever phase you want to go into. You just can't repeat the same one.
Okay.
So there's Odyssey, which is for traveling through the ocean. There's a Score, which is kind of doing your raid and your job. There's Downtime, which you can do in a port or on your ship. And then there's Trade for when you go sell your stuff to make money and try and manipulate the markets. What I will say is Odyssey is triggered if you move, I believe, more than 2 spaces off of land, unless you're in the reef lands. And then if you move more than 1 space off of land, you'll have to basically fight something during.
Oh, so we have to do an Odyssey just to even get there because we're nowhere near close enough.
Or we could do an Odyssey afterwards. Oh wait, no. If it's dictated by moves,
let's do an Odyssey to get ourselves to this hex.
Yeah.
I reckon. And then move into this hex to do our actual job just when they're like, oh hey, Itakan is like, we're nearly there.
It's right around the corner.
But also like it's the point at which they're like, where like us disappearing as a ghost ship is most likely to work out because they're gonna go, oh yeah, we were robbed by ghosts. That makes sense.
And they're not going to want to chase us because we'll be going right back into a zone 4 place.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're not going to want to see. They're not going to follow suit or pursue us. Yeah. So, yeah, that sounds great to me. I think we have to get there. I like your idea of gathering information, Ash. I know that our characters, based on their backgrounds and heritages, have some ability to do that. So I'd love to do that, but I'm happy to do that in the Odyssey phase while we're getting closer.
So we're from Agiros, aren't we?
I'm just excited about the idea that there is an Odyssey phase. There may or may not be a monster, and I will point out I'm a monster hunter.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems like the gathered information might make sense when you do the planning for the actual attack.
Yeah.
And the one thing I will say related to your knowledge is once per session, you can ask me a question related to your knowledge, and I'll answer it as if you got a 10+ on a gather information roll. So, like I said, only once per session, but that might be something when you're preparing for your attack.
Right. What is our knowledge is based on our background?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, so if I'm a monster hunter, you always get like 2 dots you can put in skills, and then you get a knowledge bracket. So for me, the bracket is I get to ask questions about monsters.
Well,
I get to ask questions about violence.
Nice.
That's awesome.
What do I get to ask questions about? I am a
cultures.
Yeah, I get to ask questions about cultures, which is great because I don't know anything about the Tazwara, but my character does.
All I have to say is my the dots are not super what I would have gone for, but I mean, it said Monster Hunter. I couldn't pass it up.
Buddy, those are a good ones. I mean, I get why you would choose other ones, but I feel that too.
I went with Mercenary because it was the closest I could find to Charles Vane's backstory in Black Sails.
Nice.
Of like, just, I am very strong and I'm very sick of bad people.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. All right. So for the Odyssey phase, I'll do So under the rules, I have the quick start rules.
Cass, could you possibly give me just an empty character sheet in Roll20?
Yeah.
Just see how we start writing things down.
Oh, because then I can put a token onto the. I can use it to make a token for our ship.
Would anyone else like a empty character sheet?
No, if we're just using it.
This one's just so we've got a token.
Mm-hmm.
Where did I put? There it is. So now I should be able to. Yeah. Why is it not letting me upload my picture? Roll20. Why do you hate me?
Oh, that's
So anyways.
so.
There we go.
Ooh.
Cool. And now I should be able to drag.
I'm not seeing it unless it's.
It's probably only me. But if I do this, does that do what I want? There we go.
There we go. Now I see it.
Haha.
Bonus.
So I can get rid of like the big flag, and we can just have that.
I can see the little cross thingy.
Yeah. So now we have a thing to show where we are.
Love it. So first up for the ice phase, you'll notice it's a little bit like a score. First is your plan is how you're going to make the journey safely. So when you're coming up against a challenge, this will sort of set how you're first engaging it. And then it will be, in terms of roles, it'll be based on your ship traits. And for you all, you have a sloop, which is basically very speedy and very good at shooting things and kind of bad at everything else.
I mean, those seems like really good things to be good at.
Yeah, I'm like
Let's
if
go.
we're pirates, a sloop makes sense.
This is good.
Speed and firepower are 2. Speed is 5. Or speed is 4. Firepower is 3.
Also, I want everyone to know that I'm great at boats, which means that I have no idea what I'm talking about. So if I make mistakes all over the place with starboards and ports, just
It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. So you can see on the plans, you can go with an assault plan. So you attack whatever comes in your way. Stealth, you can try and avoid anything that comes up. Transport is taking the most efficient path. Deception, so disguising and bluffing your way through trouble. Occult, harness a magic power. Or social, travel as part of a group or convoy.
So this is for the Odyssey phase specifically?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, it's how we're going to make the journey safe.
Mhm.
I think that I like going as efficiently as possible with the transport route.
yeah, let's do
A
it.
transport
I mean,
approach,
that's
just being like because okay. So Vita absolutely just gets up and stands on the thing that the on the mounting point that the steering that the ship's wheel is attached to, and just starts yelling about release all sails, all canvas at the ready, a whole anchor, you and then starts using some very inappropriate language that I just remembered non-Australians don't appreciate. But yeah, she gets foul-mouthed and yelly about let's get the fuck out of here. We've got, and I think I think I turn to Arash and I'm like, we've got monsters to hunt. And they've got bellyfuls of jewels.
I think one of the things that I do is I want to say that there is a skeleton of some giant sea critter that is actually what they carved our figurehead from.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's what releases the ghost aura around us. And I think that actually the bones of it travel through the boat. So there are floors where it runs through the ceilings and things like that. And so I think, yeah, if you're doing that, I think Arash wanders over and whispers something in its ears and like lets loose the smokes, and then runs to do all the rigging and clambering and other things, because like I literally run straight up the masts to like take care of things high up and so on.
Is it like the skeleton of like one of those like serpentine dragons?
Yeah.
That's-
Yeah, like some giant sea serpent. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And like we actually have like the fins pop up every once in a while, because even though everything else has like either rotted away or we've removed it and replaced it with scrimshaw and added details to like all the bones, I think that the top fin occasionally appears in segments of our boat, and we use it almost like a small side sail.
Nice.
Awesome.
Wicked. I think just to make sure that all the characters are in the scene, Pari is sitting at the bow, and she's sort of grinding something up in her hand. And as we're setting out, she opens up her hand, and this dust sort of flows out. The wind carries this dust out of her hand, and she sort of like watches it, and as though she sees something. She sees something in the dust. Indicating that the danger that we're heading into. Like it's invariable that we're heading into danger, and I think there's a little portent for her because she knows she has a scarred soul. She knows when we're about to be in danger, so there's portent for her of what's to come. And she sort of like wipes the rest of it off of her hand, and when she walks away, there's like broken bits of glass on the prow there, like a bottle got shattered, and that's what she's been grinding up. That is now flitted away, and yeah, it's sort of a sign to everybody like danger be that way, which is of course the way we're going. But
Right.
everyone's on alert. The rest of the crew knows.
I love it.
How big is our crew, actually? Out of curiosity, is it just 3 of us? There's a bunch of us, right?
Yeah, so there's the 3 of you, there's all your associates, and then sort of a few random crew members. Since you're a small boat, small ship, you don't have a huge crew.
Right.
But you have a couple, random red shirts, basically.
Awesome.
So I think what we'll do is we'll get to the Odyssey roll, and then once we know what that is, maybe that's a good place to
Mhm.
Yeah, perfect.
So for the engagement roll for the Odyssey, it'll be 2d6 and then modifiers. So if your plan uses a dominant trait of the ship, which you picked speed, so you have a +1. If the route is never more than 2 hexes from land. So you do get to choose what your actual route is, because if you don't take the most direct route, then you get a -. But if you stay close to the land, you get a +. So it's kind of deciding if you want to hug the land or just sort of take the straight shot.
I don't think. I mean, if the
We
islands
can't
count as
be
land?
far from land, even in the straightest route.
Yeah, our straightest route is still within land, so that's
Yeah, exactly. Well, as long as those islands count as land, then yeah.
If we're moving towards this
Right there.
yeah.
Excellent.
That's our destination. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's whenever more than 2 from the land, I think.
I don't think we're even more than 1 at any given time.
So you're at +2. If an ally or patron is assisting, and that's sort of, do you want?
Can we do flashbacks?
Yeah.
Sick, awesome. Because I mean, I've got to go and see Gisa, right? Like if we're gonna be going, if we're gonna be doing this, like, where would I? So like, I'm assuming that Gisa is like has it has got to be on this island, right? Because otherwise I wouldn't be able to go and see her.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think I want to like flash back to getting her help. So like like we like see me like wandering through these kind of jungly reef islands, or are they more like Galapagosy or
They're jungly, but there's also parts that look like different terrain. Like it came from a part of the world, just kind of randomly splotched around.
Whatever you need, Ash, is what they are.
So like let's we go into like the jungles and find like an old we see like an old like half of a ship like caught up in the trees of the jungle, and I have to like climb up the like rope ladder to get in. And then on the like her house is like in the inside of the ship, and then on top is all of the like weather vanes and things where she can like see all of the weather and things. And I'm like, Gisa, we're going out. We're heading south. I need to know what the winds say. And yeah, like I'm just I want to get some help from her on like making sure that we're catching the right winds and we're not going to get like pushed into the reefs and things.
I think you see her and she's focused on an automaton monkey that's kind of clambering around the little ropes. And she just looks at it and she says, Mr. Pride, what do the winds say? And you see it sort of clamber up to the top of the ship, and you hear a little chittering that's more like gears going. And then you can see her listening like very intently and kind of nodding. And she says, the winds are slow next to the land, but they pick up as you go to the larger waves. And she sort of, I think probably like kneels down and in the sand sort of draws you like pictures of the wind currents and where they're flowing.
Yeah, and I think what booze do I take her as like offering? Because it's got to be like I bring her like
Rum.
Is it rum or do I bring her like sherry or something like more like refined that is like her specific?
Oh,
like,
I think
taste?
it might be Valia wine. Like it's
Yeah,
this
right.
very
So
specific from this one port in Valia.
yeah, yep. So yeah, I'm like, and so I'm like, I'm like, thank you, and then I pull it out and I like toss her this bottle of wine, and I'm like, this one's as old as I am, and then yeah, and make my way back to the ship. Just and like we get the thing of like me like trying to look cool as I like walk away from her, and then getting like vines on me, and being like,
I love it.
stupid land.
Right. Maybe the last shot we get is the little monkey comes down and like a little hand is a corkscrew and it puts it in and like pops the bottle for her.
Oh, so good.
Awesome. I love it. Cool.
All right. So you're at +3 right now. Y'all are doing well in your first Odyssey.
Yeah.
Is a
Well, we have a good stat. We'll see what the dice do.
right.
But we still have to take in the negatives.
Let me see.
I don't know unless a faction's interfering. I don't think we have a.
So I'm gonna double check something because I don't want to just totally fudge it, but
I mean, we definitely have some rival factions that could be getting in the way.
yeah. You are going to be the Time-Worn Blades, which are those assassins who don't like you very much. Their home port is Idukan, and so they definitely sort of claim all of the waters around. So I sort of imagine that you have to take some extra care to avoid them. They're much more powerful than you. So I think since you're going through their waters, they will be sort of interfering with the regular patrols in the area.
Sure. If nothing else, just us being wary of them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. So it's going to be 2d6 plus 2, or just an action roll and then 2 modifier. Who wants to make the first roll?
I mean, come on, our captain's got to roll this. Setting that C.
All right, let's do it. So
the official, unofficial captain job. Roll for the boat.
Roll for the boat, right? Nice.
You're welcome.
Nice.
Nice. All right.
Nailed it.
All right. And then can someone just roll me a 1d6? 2. Okay. Well, when we come back, the opening scene is going to be you facing a tier 4 monster.
Oh yeah, that should be great.
But we
I'm so
start
on board.
controlled.
I mean, we could be facing a tier 5 monster, or
Right?
an underworld faction. Hey, they're or sea raiders.
Yeah. Actually, Sean, now that you mention it, can you roll me another 1d6?
Oh yeah, please.
Thanks, Sean.
I got another
Okay.
2.
All
Two twos
right.
cancel each other out, right? Then the monsters just run away. I think that's the rule. 2.
So you will get to face your monsters after all.
Awesome. Hey, that's what we wanted. I don't know if it's what all of us wanted, but at least some of us wanted. Cool. Well, before we face the monster in these dangerous seas, let's all take a little break. We'll be back in a few minutes. Thanks everybody for hanging out with us so far. When you come back, you'll see whether or not we actually make it to the score. We'll see you all soon.